flip the switch on YouTube. I don't know why YouTube's got to be so weird about it. Hi, YouTube.
Has it just been Twitch?
Yeah, it's just been Twitch this entire time. Hi, YouTube. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
We said a whole bunch of fun stuff, though.
We did say a whole bunch of fun stuff, and everyone on YouTube missed out. So go see my view my Twitch, I guess.
Watch on Twitch,
if you want to hear a second intro, yeah, sorry about that, boys. Also sorry if this was like insanely loud right out the gate.
Well, let me
probably just scared a bunch of people. But yeah.
Recap. I'm Maddie. You're Wowie. We were about to do a stream that was going to be calm and cool and chill about like redoing the warrior, redoing the archer based on all new information we have. We literally were about to hit the button to go live, and then Bolon dropped this, the Seer, the new moves for the Seer, which is going to be the next class that's coming out. They confirmed that last week. We knew that some of the moves had to be revamped. Here they are now live. And now this is going to be another 5-hour stream.
Yep. We didn't plan it. I swear. This was going to be it's going to be a nice time. And now it's going to be he had to. He had to. He's like, "Oh, snap, Wowie's going live. All right, let's push it out."
Yeah.
But let's see. Now we got to do formatting. You know what? It's so funny because I went ahead and beforehand I did all the formatting necessary for the warrior class that we were going to be going over. Not so much anymore. Now we got to go back to the Seer. All right, let's see.
We got to do this. We were going to talk about the Seer a little bit in general because there was a big announcement that the Seer is going live. And I apologize. I know you went live yesterday and talked about it a little bit. But I'm curious on the Seer. I'm excited to play with it. I'm excited to get it out there because I'm not gonna lie. I'm coming from a little bit of skepticism, whereas like I think Priest is just a better healer than the Seer. So I'm excited to see what the Seer can do. I want to see him prove it to me.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see. I got people tagging me in general chat. Three Wolves is tagging me in general chat right now.
Of course. Yeah.
What a coincidence. I'm live right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. All right, Bolon said we should read his message.
Yeah, the whole paragraph. We're gonna do it. Bringing up the announcement right now.
I don't want to read this at all.
Oh boy,
this seems like a challenge.
I've already just read the first half of this sentence. It's gonna be great. All right, let's see. Where do I put this? Yeah, it's gonna be weird because it's gonna be a stream of a stream. I'm just gonna stream my Discord. Nobody knows what's going on anyway. Pew. All right. Our seriously sensational and simply saintly Seer has safely snuck through the sacred sheets to selflessly and sagaciously? Is that what that is? Sagaciously select this second to show you smart and strong survivors of the savage hunts their sacred codex. Seriously sensational. Selflessly and sagaciously. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. In preparation for the Seer to enter the combat fray, we wanted to go ahead and reveal the latest version of the Seer Codex. Please keep in mind that everything is subject to change, but we do not anticipate any major changes prior to launch. I don't think anybody do. Pew. Oh my god.
All right, we got Sticks intern just messaged me.
Everyone's going nuts right now.
Sagaciously. Yeah.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Keen and far-sighted judgment used to indicate acute discernment.
There we go, everybody. We're learning.
Sagaciously.
We're learning something today. One of those ancient. It's one of those ancient words. Ancient English words. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going base mana cost and base growth. Oh my god, there's so much new going on here, but this looks just awful. So let's see. We got Oracle, Astrologer, Artificer, Oracle, Astrologer. All right, cool. So it's in the same order. That's what's important.
It's all the same. The moves are all the same names, right?
Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to copy this. And we're going to make it look better. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, don't worry about this, guys.
I'm sure Bolon edited this because it's terrible.
All right. Bam. Oh, God.
Delay 10. That's such
Delay
that's so
10?
delay.
Well, we
That's so
don't know
many
how delay
delay.
really works anymore because it's a delay of initiative. So
Oh,
it's blocks.
is it just ticks?
Yeah,
If
it's a
it's 10
ticks
ticks,
now.
it's not that crazy then, I guess.
Default bold. And we're going to do size 10. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, here comes 30 minutes of color picking. No, we've already picked the colors, friends. We've already picked the colors. They're good colors.
Yeah, we're not going to change the colors.
Not this time. But we do need to add skill type magic?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's just the damage. Although, interesting is it...
That's kind of cool, actually. So we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna go ahead and take the descriptions. We're gonna paste them. Bam.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Your YouTube poll is asking what class should we go over?
Yeah, right. I was gonna be. It was so cute. It was so cute. I was like, I'm gonna act like I planned this. Like, let's see.
Yeah.
It's not the case. It's just not the case. All right, 40 bandings on this. Not bad now. Not bad now. So we gotta steal the range.
Well, while you're editing, I'll just mention too. I sort of said this up top. I don't know if it got cut off by the YouTube crowd, but already I think there's a new keyword in haste. I have to assume that is a speed buff. I'm curious on what it means though, but based on the speed system and like the initiative, maybe it's only affecting initiative. I don't know how haste is going to work, but I'm pretty sure it's a new keyword. I don't think we've ever seen haste in anything else.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah. And again, I think it's self-explanatory. It's increased speed, but who knows? It could mean other things too.
I'm getting pretty good at this.
Yeah, I mean you've done it how many times? Oh,
6 trillion.
Interesting. Did Time Sync always have that? Using the enemy's agility against him?
Yes.
We're also gonna have to be going back and forth.
Yes.
The old one.
And you know what's going to be really interesting? I just did like a future proofing on the Seer last night. For anyone who was also watching my streams last night, we went over the Seer, I guess a day before old Seer ended. And I told you all how future proof it was going to be, or how I felt it was going to be, and you know what changes we were anticipating. And I was also hoping that the devs weren't watching me and were going to bully me because I didn't realize how close we were to this coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and take the base cost and the growth. We're going to put this in instead of duration. So we're going to go 1 column to the left, 1 column to the right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're just going to paste these in. Make them look pretty. Default.
Purify on level 3. Where's the purify for the priest? Is it level 3 as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see. Purify target level 3. Yeah, so that was part of the if they did change that, yeah, it was part of it. It was just like freaking channel, and all you get is a cleanse that's been nerfed,
right.
And then and then like probably a tiny heal. No thanks. It's actually great because I have my old rankings here already.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're just gonna take out duration because that does nothing for us. Delete column. Ah, how pretty.
All right, so now all the new descriptions are now in.
Yeah, I think we're ready. This is like the fastest we've ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was,
it's kind of creepy.
We already did it one time. We already did this year.
We did already do it, but I mean, come on, it's not done until all the borders are in. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Very true.
Format stream. I am excited about this because I did have a couple strong opinions yesterday with the Seer.
Yeah, seeing that B.
Yeah.
That's a rare Wowie rating.
Indeed it was. Same with an A.
Yeah.
There's 2 A's and a B in here. And I think I used the phrase, and to quote myself as accurately as possible, stinky garbage poo-poo, flush it down the toilet.
Oh wow.
So let's without further
Quite offensive.
without further ado, there is due. No, this is the wrong gray. There we go. Boom. All right, there we go. No, that's the wrong gray still. Yeah. OCD's happy with this one. Almost. It's almost happy with this one. I gotta match the grays here too. I think it's this one. All right. OCD is fully satisfied with this. So yeah, let's just get into it. How's everybody doing tonight?
We've done that like 4 times now. Wow.
I know, but like this time I'm paying attention.
Okay, there you go.
Let's see. Typical dog status effects. Have I forgotten any, like to grab anything out of here? Skill type is interesting, but I don't think I'm going to grab that just yet.
Have we gotten numbers for DoD like that before?
No, but I did copy over DoD just in case. See, there's the 5.
No, it looks like you have it for Warrior too.
Oh yeah, I just did Warrior.
What does that mean? Sorry, we probably have gone over this.
So DoD is degree of difficulty,
right.
And this is an added balance measure, and I'm using air quotes here, balancing measure, to try and curb the power of the ability. So they're saying that this ability is powerful and it deserves a higher chance to miss. So you have a DoD of 5, which I believe is a direct like accuracy debuff. So you have 5%, I think 5% less chance to hit. Bolon says, wow, he is trying to start a rumor of me dropping alpha. He's pulling a Sarge. It's not true.
So that goes to the accuracy equation, that DoD number.
Oh. Combat classes in the docs have DoD numbers. Yeah, these are the ones I just brought over from the actual docs. Okay, oh, he's saying all of them. Yeah. All the new ones. Okay. Because I'm thinking that like if we look at Berserker, right, all the DoD numbers, even if they're in there, they don't mean anything.
Yeah. It's just like it exists. Prior, it was like it existed when we went to the Codex for the first time. But yeah, now it's haste is okay. They put haste. Interesting. Wow, this is all happening live.
Yeah.
Is this a new page? Was this always here?
Wait, what?
Hold on. He just sent a link to our private chat. Oh, I don't know if I should say that out loud.
We speak privately with Bolon. He gives us so much alpha. It's unfair, and we take advantage of it. It's insider. No, I'm kidding. This is not financial advice. This is not even advice I would give to like something I was an expert in, which is playing video games. Don't take my advice. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. That's the end of my disclaimer. But how I really feel is this is exactly financial advice. You should listen to everything I say, and that is legally binding.
Yeah, so they do have haste in the docs, and the haste reads as follows. Increased target speed. 50% haste would result in the hero's speed increasing by 50%. So it's just a straight up increase the speed by whatever the amount the haste is.
Okay, can you like send that to me in a message real quick, because I don't have that in the mechanics.
I think I can send it like this.
Would it be a mechanic or a buff? I think it'd be a buff.
I think it's a buff, yeah. I hope it. Yeah, good. That sent well. And then this is the link.
All right, 1 row, a boov.
So I mean, that's sort of what I thought haste was going to be, just kind of a straight up increase the speed.
Haste.
I don't know if I've seen this page before. This is cool. They also have a. I don't know if I can send links in the chat. Can I send links in the chat?
Yeah.
They have a nice little image of what it looks like in battle.
I like that. I like that, Sticks Intern. Because it just looks like it's fun to say. Fafofi. F around and find out yourself. Oh, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But we're going to get started with what everyone's here to see, right?
Oh,
everyone's here to see the Archer. That's right. So, multi-shot, which you guys might not know. All right, so Future Sight. I really shouldn't have gotten rid of the old stuff so we could see what it was before.
Oh, is it all deleted? Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we can wait. Well, did he update? He probably didn't update the main page yet.
He probably did. He's diligent with that stuff. All right, let's see. Future sight. Target ally gains 1 plus a whiz. Oh, that's the whiz.s. The .s function is the averaged function of everything on the battlefield at the time. So a 1 plus a battlefield wisdom function's evasion for 2 turns. Delay 10, which I'm assuming is 10 ticks. Yeah, Control Z a bunch of time. Yeah, no way sticks in
Also, the Seer page on the docs has the old info on it.
Oh, all right, cool. Might want to maybe you could chime in if it's like real different. Yeah. All right.
This one's for the most part the same, but keep going.
Yeah. So we got delay 10, which is kind of interesting. Heal the target party member for spell mod with a whiz function, HP stack limit 1. So what I know is the new portion here is stack limit 1. They don't want you stacking delays, which I guess is fine.
Well, and it was delay X prior. This is, it says the 10 there.
Yeah, Rubeto is like a champion right now. So yeah, this is actually fairly exactly the same.
Yeah, target ally gains X% evasion for a duration of X. Delay X delay X in a duration of X. The target is healed. It's a spell and a wisdom heal. So yeah, it's almost exactly the same. No, it is exactly the same. Not almost. It's
just worded for what modern DFK is right now.
Right. And the .s formula being used.
And as such, I refuse to change my rating. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I might change my rating on this a little bit. It seems pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty easy. I would say this is better. And take this with a grain of salt because these priest ratings, of which we might have gone through tonight if this didn't happen, are not correct. But Prayer of Healing, while this is a higher mod because it's wisdom and intelligence, obviously, and this is just wisdom, this is a better tier 1 skill at the very start of the fight than Prayer of Healing. I still think Prayer of Healing is better. Right. But this gives you a lot. So it's 1% plus 1 times the averaged wisdom. So if you've just got like a cranked out wisdom, this is really, really, really good. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how this would work in... I'm not 100% sure how this works in play quite yet. Like, what should we expect from this with like someone like a Seer who's got... let's say, what would a level 15 like regular Seer have as a wisdom mod? Like 40. So what would we be able to see from like 40 whiz on this target? Would this be like a 7% additional? Like, is this like a foresight's worth of additional evasion for 2 turns?
1 plus
the averaged wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it'd be on the low end would be 3%, and the high end would be, like you're saying, 7 or maybe 8 if it's like a superhero, Yeah.
All right. Cool. So base cost 4.5 with a base growth of 1.5. I don't think that's necessarily too bad. It's not too much to ask for. I would say the impactfulness of this is probably going to be on the lower end, whereas the heal for the priest is on a much higher end because it keeps it just has a higher value. Right? Yeah. Over time. The 6%, I'm assuming, averaged, a foresight averaged amount of mischance, while is good and does stack, and on double foresight, we're looking at, 8%, and then we'll say a 6% there. Like, that's pretty all right.
You get to,
22% evasion before we're talking about, like, okay, what's your actual mischance with your agility mod put in? Like, I think this is going to be really good for sustained because, I mean, how many hits have to miss for it to equal what a priest would have been able to heal in 1 turn, right? Which I'm sure they've done a ton of math on this. Yeah. So I'm assuming it's pretty equaled out. I'm going to say because the impact is probably going to be less so, especially later game, than the priest, I'm going to give this a single S.
I don't know if I talked about this live, but I want to talk about this one now here.
Sure.
The range says 1. Does
Huh.
that mean if my Seer is in the back row, he cannot do this ability to the front line?
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, is it that way on the future set range 1? Yeah.
I think that's a huge downgrade.
That's an uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because then that means I have to position my healer in the middle no matter what.
Right.
Or my seer in the middle no matter what.
Or you just are ignoring your front line altogether, which maybe, but...
Right, but you want your front line to be the one that's evasive to begin with.
Right, and then this is the level 1 move. This is a move you're going to be using repeatedly, hypothetically. It's really frustrating that it's a range of 1.
Ooh, Francis actually got a really good point here. Feels like this might pair well with the Berserker doing damage to itself, because if the evasion does its job, you won't have damage to heal coming from an enemy. Makes sense. I would actually think that, like, or so for all the self-inflicted damage that the Berserker does, is there a chance to miss yourself?
That's interesting.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then build an evasion Berserker that gets all of the benefit and none of the downside.
That's super fun.
Yeah, that's great.
I maybe that's an AMA question, but I want to ask him about this because I think this is the first time we've seen a buff move, quote unquote.
Right.
With a range of 1.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the range is probably a typo.
Right,
and
that makes sense.
And like that's I'm just gonna believe that that's the way it is right now and reserve the S rating.
Okay.
If it actually is a range of 1 and it's a force, like you can't use the evasion from the back to the front, this immediately goes downhill by a lot because it would be nowhere near as impactful as just a basic heal from a priest. But moving on, we got our first astrologer.
But also, just as a note too, every move that's buffing allies that we've seen from priest, the warrior warcry, it's either everybody or a range of 3. We haven't seen ones that are limited like that, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant. I agree with you in that it might be a typo.
I think it kind of has to be. Yeah, Berserker.
Otherwise, it hurts a lot. Yeah.
So Francis, Berserker confirmed next, and I was like, well, maybe. I wouldn't put it past the team to like do a quick jump over, but what we've seen so far is Archer Knight Priest was the original first 3 codices we got. They were the first 3 that we got to play. Warrior was the next one to come out with its codex, and it was the first one that we were able to play. And then Seer was the next one, and it's the next codex we get to play.
Yeah.
As a pretty strong indicator that Pirate's next. I would say probably like a 95%, but there's also that 5% chaos cast chance that Boland's just like, no, don't give him Pirate. We got to keep them on their toes. We can't just let them know what we're doing.
I think it's Berserker, but
it would make sense because they can use that, but it's probably Pirate.
Yeah.
I talked about this last night. I was like, okay, their main thing about like, for the next class to come out, we have to put in a new mechanic into the game. That was
this class.
That was supposed to be this class, and then they came out with the battle budget with bring your own potions and all kinds of stuff. And like, okay, who requires a whole new mechanic? Delay is already in the game, but they put Delay in with the rock box, which I guess technically was a new mechanic they had to add in. So I think Delay was what the Seer was, but but that was also for the Pirate because Pirate's got a lot of delays as well. The Berserker, I believe, has everything already ready, right? We have all the mechanics for the Berserker in the game other than like target self, which I don't think is that hard.
There's a tier 5 move where the Berserker poisons the enemy.
Oh, I do have to bring this up. It's essentially a super chat in YouTube right now. I think we should all take a moment and reflect on how Maddie was wrong and Pirate was not next. By Code Green.
Yes, it is true. I will be addressing it tomorrow night on Bogside Chats. I will be making a public apology. So tune in then, and I will formally address
the nation.
Yes, situation. I don't want to bring down Wowie Stream with that, but I will be discussing it.
It's gonna be a great time. But So the Berserker has all of its mechanics, I believe, already in game besides poison, which you were right
Yeah.
about.
I also think they might just cut that move completely.
They
If
might.
it's one move and it's gonna slow down the Berserker, they can just ditch it, and you know what I mean. Just ditch the poison part of it. Even.
I mean, if I were to peg anybody for a non-Berserker user, it would be you. Because you're a consistency king, and Berserker's all about I might die.
Well, the only thing is, we talked about this. I really like Warrior and Berserker being combined.
Yeah,
and just creating that that basic attack kind of.
Give me the basic attack build.
Yeah. But I like Berserker as the subclass for that.
Yeah,
because his passives are so awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a passive monster, and I love it. Yeah. I'm a big passive maxi. But for Wizard and Scholar, they both use arcane power, and that isn't implemented yet. The Thief is what I kind of thought might have been coming up next, because they did the Bring Your Own Potions release, and that was all about utilizing your battle budget. And I thought the Thief might be, that was the mechanic that had to come in for the Thief to live, because Sabotage is so much of a prevalent mechanic of the Thief to mess with your opponent's battle budget as well as your own. And then Legionnaire and Monk, I believe, have Disarm, which I don't think is in the game yet. And they said that Disarm will be the last thing that gets added, because you need because you drop your weapon and it switches to your secondary weapon. So subclasses need to be out for that to take place. So if we're gonna say on what's most likely to come out next, well, Wizard and Scholar don't have the mechanic yet. Legionnaire and Monk don't have that ability to disarm yet. Thief, Pirate, and Berserker are probably the highest chances of seeing them coming out next. And that's my little soapbox.
I think Thief is going to be a little bit, to be honest, because I thought when they did the Bring Your Own Potion, I thought Thief was going to be next. Now that it's not, I think there's going to be a little bit of time before Thief.
You're probably right about that. Thief's just my favorite class, and I want it now.
Fair, yeah.
Let's see. 2024 excuses. So moving on. We got Timeswell, the astrologer.
Right.
Increases the agility of target party member by X, which is 5 plus a third of wisdom plus a fifth of int, rounded up, for 4 turns. Okay, so this is not a percentage. This is a flat buff. I guess it is percentages of a percentage ratio of what your stats are. But 5 being the base, Wiz int. Let's see, what can we realistically expect? Let's say we've got a level 15, then we got 40 Wiz, and let's just say we're right behind it with intelligence, because I think they have the exact same growth. So we'll say 5 less. So 35, 40, calculator. So we'll say 40 Wiz, and that's a third. So that's 12, and we've got 35 int.
It's going to be impressive.
7. So that's 19 plus 5, so 24. So a 24 additional agility is actually kind of cracked. That's nuts. For 4 turns, too, and a stack limit of 2. So if you've got a 40 wisdom, 35 int Seer, this thing is going to be almost plus 50 agility.
On a level tier 1.
On a tier 1 ability.
What's
for
the priest,
4 turns.
The priest one that boosts agility is a tier 4, isn't it?
Oh yeah, freedom or not freedom, swiftness. It's tier 4.
Yeah. And that one does...
It's 1.0 vitality. Stack limit 2.
Right, but I guess...
So this could be better, but think about having a healer and a seer on your team with a warrior up front.
No, I know.
And we're about to just inject him with 100 additional agility.
This being a tier 1 too, I just feel like it's going to be cheaper.
It's still nuts. This is great.
Yeah.
This is a great ability.
The resistance to slow. If haste and or speed is the meta, this is going to be a requirement.
Yeah, and in true super spec sheet discussion fashion, I haven't read any of these. You're all seeing these at the same time I'm seeing them. But if the Oracle it works even remotely like it did before, you get to go first, and then you get to speed inject somebody else, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is going to be crazy good. I like this setup already. I like the support aspect of it. This is much more impactful than the evasion buff. I like this a lot. A lot.
Are you going to do something crazy? Are you going to do a level 1 Wowie?
No, I'm not going to do a level 1 Wowie. Okay. Though it might be warranted depending on who you're pairing this with.
We've never seen a level 1 Wowie, right? We've never seen that.
But I think this is good enough to go triple S.
For sure, yeah.
I think this is good enough to go triple S on a level 1 for sure. Because, I mean, at the cost of, what? It's 4.5 and a 1.5 base mana growth rate. Like, it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. You know, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than, like, priest healing. A little. But it's almost 50 additional agility on turn 2.
Oh, well, and talking about the stuff down below, it could be even faster than that.
It could be even faster. All right, so I'm really excited for this next one because the Artificer was classically, and again I'm quoting myself here, stinky poopy garbo, flush it down the toilet. It was just not enticing enough for me to really get behind. So we've got Channel for 800, which I'm really enjoying right here.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this right here. Channel for 800 initiative rather than an entire turn. It's channel for 800.
Walk me through it like I'm an idiot, what that means.
Okay, so initiative is basically, think the amount of speed that you need to achieve, right?
Gotcha.
So at the very beginning of the game, the speed formula takes its powerful functionality and takes everyone's stats into account, and the first one to reach 1,000 initiative goes first, right? Everybody's turn happens at 1,000 initiative.
Okay.
So the rate at which you gain initiative, right, per tick is it's all derived from your agility and maybe some other stuff, but it's predominantly all your agility. That's your speed. That's the rate at which you gain initiative. For this one, rather than taking an entire turn, so 1,000 initiative, right, to go from I'm casting this spell to, or casting this channel, and then it gets to happen on my next turn. Instead, this is channeling for 80% of your next turn, and then I'm assuming directly after, like, this happens, then directly after when you hit 1,000 initiative, you get to take your turn again. So this is just like, I'm holding the effect. This is basically a delay, honestly, but you're channeling so it can be countered.
So, all right, so walk me through it. It's my turn. I'm at my 1,000 initiative. I'm up on the speed bar. I cast Warstone. I then am channeling for another 800 initiative. Then the damage goes off.
Yes, the effect of Warstone goes off, right?
And then
you still have 200 initiative.
I get my next turn.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like it's almost like turn tuning where you have, so as an opponent, right? So as an opponent looking at someone who's casting Warstone, you have 800 initiative of their speed formula to deal with this.
Okay.
You have 800 of initiative of their speed to interrupt this.
To try and interrupt. Yeah.
Right. So there's good counterplay here. The only thing I'm noticing with this, so it's channel 800 initiative. We didn't get past that. Deal 1.5 spell plus 1 times wisdom and 1 times intelligence raw damage to target enemy. I wonder why it says raw.
Raw. I was about to ask that because it said magic, right? They're all the initial things said magic on it.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I didn't take out was that skill type is magic, but raw damage is an interesting concept. But I mean, it would make sense. You're not really casting a spell. You're like getting ready to throw a rock.
I'm assuming it's a magic rock.
But it's a pretty interesting DPS ability, right? So the priest's holy light, let's see, deal 0.5 spell and 0.5 int magical damage, right?
Yeah.
And then it has a chance to inflict status, and then it suffers spell raw damage at the start of each of their turns, right? The formula for spell, we don't know what the formula for spell is. It's the same as the formula, or almost the same as the formula for basic attack. So just think of it that way. It's like it's the magical basic attack rather than the physical basic attack.
It's probably like focus. It's probably more intelligent. It's probably a 60-40 split between intelligence and wisdom.
Right. It's the magical basic attack formula rather than the physical basic attack formula.
Yeah.
So, however hard that does anyone like who uses Holy Light? I'm a big proprietor of Prayer of Healing.
I never do. Yeah.
Like Holy Light, I'm not 100% sure how much it hits for. I know there's the Holy Wrath combo with it. That's pretty sweet. And that's 2.5 standardized wisdom.
But also, just for comparison's sake, I don't think it's obviously going to be more damage, but the Archer has a tier 1 channel move that is 2 times attacks and 2 times dex.
Right. So I would think that's...
And then a small chance of a stun.
Well, I'm looking at this one right here. So Holy Wrath is 1.0 spell, 2 times int, 1 times whiz, right? And that's a tier 5. This is almost in line with that.
Yeah.
So if you've got that 40-35 Seer, right? That's 75 additional damage on top of 1.5 spell, right? So it's a basic attack and a half with 75 added to it.
So that's why it should pack a punch when you're level 1 channeling move.
Oh snap! Are you guys having a hard time hearing Maddie?
Oh shit! Is it me?
No, it might be me. I might have the volume not tuned right. All right, try talking again.
Hey, I was just talking about how this move is going to be pretty powerful.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let me know in chat if you can hear.
I can talk closer to my microphone. Is that helping?
No, you don't have to change a dang thing. I can change a trillion things. I am a OBS novice.
Oh, I love it.
So that means I barely know almost nothing.
Oh, shit. Fran says he texted me, and I don't. Oh, my voice is a little low compared to Wowie's. Oh, damn. Sorry. Thanks, friends.
All right. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if it's good now.
Yeah.
For the love of God, don't tell me he's too quiet.
What are you doing?
All right. Sweet.
Yeah. All right. What are we giving this a rating of? The thing is too. It's
I used to hate this.
What?
I actually just didn't like this. But now that it's a channel of 800, I think this is really, really, really interesting. Because I didn't like the fact that it took your turn to channel the cast, and then on your second turn something happened. I just didn't like that.
Hold on. And
this makes it way more interesting.
You're saying that based on just the way it reads Channel 800 Initiative, that's your interpretation of how this move works?
Yes.
Okay. And I have no reason to believe it otherwise, but I think, and if it works the way you're saying, I agree. I think this is a great move. But if there's some other sort of mechanisms, mechanics that we're not, we're interpreting it the wrong way, I'd be hesitant. But otherwise, I think it sounds like a great move.
I mean, if there are any devs in chat that are willing to correct me, I'm all ears.
Well, the fact that you get basically you get a whole nother turn. I guess that's the wrong way to put it. It's because it's a delayed effect. Like nothing happens on your initial turn, and then 800 initiative later, this happens. It is weird compared to delay. I'm curious on that.
It's because delay doesn't have as much counterplay.
Right. That's a good point.
So this is counterable.
Is in action, you can't really touch it.
Yeah. Now this is really cool. Let's see. As far as a rating, it's definitely gone up from an A. Let me tell you. As far as a damage ability, I think this is the best magic damage ability we have on a tier 1. And it kind of gets me really excited to see what the damage abilities from the wizard are going to be. It's definitely in the S. It's in the S's now. I'm going to say I'm going to give it a single S because it's in the realm of me liking it now. It was an A before because I thought it was going to have Archer impact, right? But even though this does a lot of damage, it also has a chance to stun. It also gains accuracy, buff, right? So
Yeah.
it does more stuff over time. This one, like, I really enjoy. For all intents and purposes, it's just a damage ability, and I'm not a huge fan of just pure damage abilities. But the way that this works with the channel 800 initiative, I really, 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 really like it because I'm not losing a turn.
No, I agree.
I really enjoy this now.
Yeah. I don't know. I still am hesitant in general on channel abilities just because there's so many interrupts. But this could be interesting. And again, it'll do a lot of damage, but it's not going to be like a game changer. So if someone wants to waste their abilities of interrupting,
Yeah, it leaves you open to counterplay, and I'm here for that.
Right, but also too, I feel like if you have X number of opportunities to interrupt and you're going to waste it on this one, go for it. And so tier 1 move.
Right. All right. So Dewey War's saying that he doesn't think you get another 200 initiative later. If that's the case, this is even more interesting because this takes the other option for how this would work is you're channeling for 800 initiative, right? So instead of having to go to 1,000 initiative for your next turn happens at 800 initiative. And then you have to go another 1,000 afterwards. If that's the case, this happens way faster, right? So you're getting 20% you're getting 20% more of a turn every other turn if you spam this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the way you're talking about it now is it pops after the 800, and that's your
channeled turn,
quote unquote second turn. Yeah. Okay, which I think that one kind of makes more sense, to be honest. Not that you get another whole other turn after this pops.
Well, it's kind of the theme of the skill ones is target ally gains evasion, right? So that's an agility mod kind of deal. And then straight agility, which is just a speed increase. And if this is the second option of how it works, then this is literally just giving you more action economy over time because it's taking away 20% of a needed total initiative count.
Yeah. Well, and also hypothetically, that window for them to interrupt it is going to be obviously that much shorter.
Right.
So
good call.
It protects it.
Either way, this is still much more interesting because you could cycle. Option 2 lets you cycle faster. Option 3 lets you set up and do more. Or option 1, rather, not 3. Whatever. Option 1 lets you, like, if this goes off at 800 initiative and is just effectively a delay that you can interrupt and you still get your turn, right? You still get your turn too. I love this. I probably love it more. Option 2, it still cycles you way faster, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. 600 says it's a leapfrog opportunity. You basically jump forward 200 ticks on the bar when you cast it, and then it'll go off in your next turn. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about for option 2.
Yeah. Which I think the option 2 makes more sense.
It does, but I just want option 1 to happen because it just seems like so much more fun.
Yeah. I think both are advantages to the classic kind of regular channel. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. What in the DFKs is Sir Worm? I'm pretty sure. Somebody else could have that name. Who knows? He said that there's a possibility your opponent will never get a chance to interrupt this, and that is completely and utterly dependent on your speed tuning, which is going to be when we're going against each other and we're not at level 20, right, maximum, because I mean, let's be honest, level 20, sure, get some powerful heroes in there, but level 20 is for babies, bro. I'm talking level 35, level 50, level 100 combat, like end game combat. It's all going to be about speed tuning. Who goes first on your team and when and why, and who do I get to go in between on my opponent? That's what the whole like chess match before it begins in my head is going to like look like. It's all speed tuning. Who's going first, who's going when, and what am I using on them to make sure I give myself the most advantage. If this plays into speed tuning, I'm here for it. If I could take a turn 20% faster on my turn 2, this is huge.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of in terms of tier 1 skills, upgrade for sure. This has definitely been an upgrade. I think average, it's averaged out because I think I took an S away from Future Sight and gave it to Warstone. Oh, Oolong's saying Berserker's definitely next. I don't know, guys. Pirate did come out before the revised Berserker. Yeah. But yeah, all right. So tier 2s, we got the Oracle. I think the most hype passive ability in the game, right?
And the last sentence at the end of it makes it so much more insane.
All right, so here we go. If this hero performs an action that would deal damage of any type, that damage is reduced to 0. All right, so far it works exactly the same way. This hero gains 15% haste. Cool. So that, I'm assuming, is just 15% faster initiative gain per tick, right? All skills cost 10% less mana to cast. That's huge.
That's insane. It's efficiency.
It's literally just an efficiency passive. So we've got in tier 1 we've got a foresight passive, then we've got an efficiency passive so far, which is pretty great.
Efficiency is an advanced level trait. And this is just the Oracle or the Seer can just have it.
Yeah, you just get it right away.
And now imagine if you have the efficiency trait as well, you're going to be casting for so cheap.
I will say this: I actually believe this has been nerfed. Because in the original one, it was you gain first strike, turn 1, and you go first.
That was never going to be. The speed system changed that. Like the time bar changed that completely.
It's true, but that's what the Oracle was. It was supposed to be you go first and then you get to set up, right? Again, yes, I'm aware that this has gone through balance, right? So technically the Oracle, from what we did have to now, has been nerfed. You are no longer going first if you have the Oracle. You're going faster. You're going faster for sure. How much faster, we don't know. Are you going to beat the ninja on the other team? Maybe, right?
You'll be on par, at least, I think. Now, 15% haste added. I mean, you need to rethink how we're leveling our Seers. I mean, agility needs to be a priority now, I think.
It's true.
I don't know how much over, intelligence and wisdom still probably number 1 and 2, but, there's so much of this is based on haste and like doing more turns and stuff like that. And
this is all about turn cycling as fast as humanly possible, right? So this, I would say, you would never, ever, 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 and this is probably really obvious to everybody, never mix the Oracle with Warstone.
No.
Yeah. Ever. However, you can mix the Oracle with anything that has additional benefits from an ability. And I said this in last night's stream as well. The Oracle is a really, really, really good pairing for the Thief.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have so many moves in which they deal 0 damage and have a gigantic effect attached to it.
They have Thief. Well, is that a Thief move at the end that has that?
Deal 0?
It's like every time you deal 0, an effect happens.
I think it's a Thief. Dealt damage to an enemy this turn, gain a lot of untargetable. So no, and damage, I believe, is I think 0. I think 0 is still considered dealing damage,
right?
Because they say deal physical damage equal to 0, X% chance to sabotage. A Seer Thief is incredible with Oracle because all you're doing is cycling, and you're absolutely destroying the effectiveness of your opponent.
There's stuff that they do where they like mess with the other team and like their stats. Like the Thief, this would be an interesting move with the Thief.
So Oracle with Pickpocket, you still get all of the benefits of Pickpocket.
Yeah,
all of them, right? And if you've made a Thief specifically built around like debuffing and messing with the enemy team, a Thief Seer is also crazy good. There's some tiers where you're not going to get as much benefit out of it, but I mean, if you've gone for the Seer and you've given yourself 100 additional agility, and then you're getting 15% more speed, and all your stuff costs 10% less, like this is nuts.
I love just like the lore of that, of like the thief Seer. It's just like this guy meditating in the woods, and he's just like, I can defeat my opponents without even touching them.
I bet I could steal from so far away.
Like they just mess with you completely without actually hitting you with anything.
Yeah, no, this is incredible. Also, like, obviously for healers, this is incredible because you get to turn cycle faster, and you get to pump more healing out, and you get to pump more spells out because it's 10% less mana cost.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is legitimately huge. I'm interested to see what they do for their mana battery stuff later.
But I want to talk about some of the negatives here, because obviously I think, the nightmare scenario is you're at the end of the battle and your other guys die, and now you're left with just your Seer who can't do any damage. It's gonna be very frustrating when this guy is just stuck there, and you like maybe the only your opponent needs just like one quick little hit to like end him, and it's a 1v1, and it's like you're done. Like you can't fight back.
Yeah. So unless does bleed and poison necessarily need to have...
That's a good point.
Yeah, does that need to have a damage number attached to it? I don't think it does. I think a bleed is attached to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
The poison is attached to your opponent. So we're looking at something like if you've got toxic, or if you've got a bleed build, and you want to stack all the damage you possibly can with bleeds, I think this is the way to go.
Would toxic be triggered?
Yes, because just like what we have in Thief, deals 0 damage. Workhorse was in our stream specifically to tell us that these deal 0 damage abilities are there to proc on hit effects.
That's awesome.
So okay, I think you actually have you have offensive capability with the Oracle in terms of what debuffs you're running.
A double toxic Oracle Seer could hypothetically could win it for you in the end.
Yeah, easily.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you're not totally down and out. You've got options, which is
the haste just hit multiple times.
You just cycle faster.
Huh. What are you gonna rate this? I'm curious on it.
I think I'm gonna keep I think I'm gonna keep it right where it's at. I think the double S is super fair right here.
Yeah.
It's not crazy overtuned. It has a lot of outs. It's got a lot of counterplay. Like, I mean, honestly, in the way we're talking about, like, okay, you're still useful in terms of dealing damage if you're just like stacking up debuffs.
Right.
A Purify completely negates everything you're doing. Right.
Yeah.
So
I also think based on the way they originally wrote it with like the first strike, I think a 20 or a 25% haste, I would have been way more excited about this. And I think it's not broken at that level too.
I would agree with you, but I think it gets broken.
Right.
I think it gets broken.
I'm sure they spent a lot of time coming to the 15% number, and much smarter people were testing it, and it had to be that number.
So my hope is that when we get to the 10 pluses, we get haste plus, which is right here.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we can't just like overlook that haste plus is going to be, a thing. But I mean, moving on, because I think I think double S is very fair for this. I think it's fantastic. Moving on to the astrologer passive, all allies gain 5% haste. I think this is just all around pretty good. I'm definitely not ranking this higher.
I was gonna say, I think it's an S compared to what we just
that's
about, right?
Literally exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's good, but by no means is this like game breaking.
No.
5% faster turn rate might just be enough to catch you up if you're getting like lapped, like with the baby boars, right? I know people were having issues with just like in the beginning, they're like, I'm getting lapped by these baby boars, and they're just like, they're taking 2 turns every 3 turns. And like, this might be enough to like catch you up to that, but it's so heavily depending on how much you've leveled. Now, if you're running a speed team and everyone's cracked out on agility and you're looking to speed tune and you're looking just to go first, this is a must-have.
Especially as a subclass, I think that'd be a great add.
I would have liked
Um,
this to like keep the evasion buff that it used to have,
right.
because 5% haste and 5% evasion would
Yeah.
have been like, that would have been monstrous enough for me to be like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, that's triple S. I like that a lot.
So based on the new system, and I know this is a dumb question, but speed and initiative and all that stuff has obviously nothing to do with evasion.
Not anymore.
Even though these are both agility things, but
Yep.
they're under the agility umbrella, but they
Right.
don't interact at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this used to be just a straight up agility buff. It is now just a speed buff rather than an
Yeah.
agility buff. So it
Right.
loses the evasion benefits that it used to have.
Yeah.
Plus,
That's
if you have
kinda
any
disappointing.
abilities that go off of agility, haste doesn't touch them.
Right, right. I hate to do this. I hate to do this because we talk about it a lot. What does all allies mean?
I believe all allies include the caster.
Why? Because isn't leadership allies? Leadership is allies gain,
Oh, jeez.
and they've said that the person himself is not included there.
Which was a huge deterrent to how much
I
I was
agree.
enjoying leadership.
Yes, me too.
Because I'm
You can inspire yourself with a good
right.
speech.
Yeah, I'm big enough to say that I'm often inspired by myself.
Yeah. The one reason you say all allies does lead me to believe that perhaps it does include the Seer himself. Why would they say all allies versus just allies? But again,
the
broken record.
Francis read about this one. Holy Circle, heal each party member, and that's a group heal. So allies may only refer to other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bolin in the chat saying
Bola calling me out. You have no idea. I have a sign that I hang that's like over my monitor that says "Do not say mental deterrent."
Well, no, I think the channel one from level 1. I thought you were going to say it.
Oh, mental deterrent for Warstone? Not really.
Well, I think in my mind though, the Seer is doing that simultaneously. The Archer has a bigger channel, and so I want them to waste their interrupt on that one versus, you know what I mean?
True, but you don't want. Okay, so it's a very interesting point you just brought up there. So because if option 2 for the way this works is it just takes its second turn faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that Seer to start snowballing turns,
right?
And that would be
Wait, why not though? Why not?
Your opponent. Your opponent doesn't want you taking more turns because they don't want you to have action economy advantage over them.
Right.
So the incentive here is to not let the Seer snowball with initiative. So you want to interrupt that.
That's why I'm saying the Seer hypothetically would be the mental deterrent, whereas you had a bigger, stronger damage dealing channel behind him, or in this case in front of him, maybe.
True, but at the same time,
multiple channels. It doesn't seem like yeah.
I think this is I think it's pretty easy and straightforward, and I'm not sure if there's much of a deterrent here. All allies getting 5% haste though. I'm actually going to put this down into
A.
Like this.
I agree.
I'm no longer it's all like I said before, it's it'll always be helpful. You always need more speed. Speed is king.
Yeah.
Period. Speed is king, period. But unless you're building for speed,
it's not a lot too. It just doesn't seem like that much.
Now, I will say, like, if you're up against say you're up against a mirror match, stats and all, right? You're up against the exact same team. You're up against the exact same stats, the exact same speed, right? Every single turn that's taken is just a coin flip on who gets to go. If you've got 5% haste, you're going to get 1 extra turn every 20 turns you take.
Yeah.
That's the way that this works.
No, I get it.
Obviously, the further ahead of that team you are, the more turns you get to take. So this is really good. but the further behind you are, this really doesn't catch you up.
I was gonna say, I feel like 20 turns, we're talking about a control team that probably doesn't care about their speed,
right.
you know?
You're looking at a counter team that's like, okay, yeah, you take more turns because I'm reacting to what you do.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a narrow window where this is really going to be a big boost.
Bolon says it's a tier 2 mana free passive ability, and Maddie says just 5% just isn't that much.
It isn't.
I mean, it's good, but it's better the more speed you have on your side, and you really can't determine that. I would say specifically in PvP, right? You can't determine if you're going to be faster than your opponent or not, because speed S or agility S or however the speed formula actually works is standardized, right? So this helps you either leave the standardization in the dust, or it helps you like catch up to the average of the standardization. I just don't think there's enough going on here, and there's not enough. Like, speed's good for everybody. Speed is king. Don't ever think that I don't mean that. It's just that unless you're specifically building for it, and the Oracle doesn't appeal to you, and whatever the Artificer does doesn't appeal to you, this seems like it's the auto pick for a tier 2 so far. If you just want a passive that gives you speed, but I don't know. It's just not screaming at me like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I want to draw a card every other turn.
I would always pick the one below this one. I think if you're just looking for a generic.
Well, Bolon's got good points right here, and let's see. Stick turn says 5% is all you need to get the first turn over perfectly matched team. And yeah,
right.
In the hypothetical, yes, if you're speed tuning, right? We're not speed tuning.
No, he's saying like if everybody's stats are exactly the same. Exact same mirror match.
You're going first.
But you have this one ability and they don't, then yes.
Yeah. No, that does work. And Bolon says add it to time swell, which is true. Yeah. The entire skill tree so far has been about like let's snowball speed, which is super cool. But I'm trying to think of it in terms of like, okay, a subclass pick, a subclass trait pick or ability pick at what level can we give this? 18 at the minimum. I think this is going to be really good late game. It's not going to be very impactful until then. Until one turn is all that really separates you from like I either win or I don't.
Yep.
This isn't going to be like a top tier pick.
I agree.
I'm very excited about this late game, but as it is now, I'm not very excited about this at all.
I think when we get to that point where you're talking about where both teams on both sides are literally messing with the time bar, like that's how we battle each other. It's just like maneuvering.
Yeah,
this becomes that kind of that edge you need. But right now, I feel like that's not quite where we're at with this. At level 20.
If you're snowballing speed, this is really 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 cool. But if you're not snowballing speed, I'd rather go Oracle with time swell.
Yeah,
and make my more impactful. I'd want to make my more impactful team members go more often than 5%. I can have 15%, and then I can give my damage dealer 50 freaking agility, and then have my tank just do its job and soak damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also too, I think it's a real negative that the Seer itself can't benefit from this.
And the fact that the caster can't benefit from it, I'm not.
Yeah.
Now, if you had 3 subclass Seers and they all had the Astrologer and everybody's got 10% speed, I mean, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. That's
interesting. Yeah. I got to step away for 2 seconds, but you go to the next one.
Yeah, no problem. We're going to go ahead and go to the Artificer, which, again, I really, really, really hope more of the Artificer gets has been reworked into more cohesive. I really want to see the I want to see the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Artificer more than anything else here. Let's see. We have the Artificer. At the start of the first and every 7th hero's turn. Nice. I already like the pirate theme here. This hero's entire party gains a pure barrier. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this now. Pure barrier with a value equal to X. Oh, come on. Please be something huge. 1.5 standardized wisdom formula. Of this hero's max HP. This is insane. This will never not be insane. I love this. I love this ability. This hasn't been changed very much. The every 7th turn is kind of interesting. It's a little bit longer than I thought it was going to turn out to be, but this is really cool. This is really cool. So what I was saying yesterday, and probably in the original Seer Codex, was that imagine this on a paladin, right? Imagine this on a paladin. Paladins have great wisdom scaling, wisdom growth, and 1.5 times the standardized wisdom as a percentage of that max HP.
This is an incredible move.
Yeah, it's insane. So like, I know there's level 15 paladins out there that aren't just like cracked out. They're 1,000 HP already, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a gigantic barrier that keeps reapplying all the time. Yeah, agility for Seers is huge, but also agility for everybody is huge, friends. Just remember
but this seventh of this hero's turns, which is defined by the speed formula. So if your speed formula is high and they're cranking out turns, you're going to get this barrier refreshed more often.
True.
Right? Well, actually, let me question: is it refreshed or does it build on each other?
So here's the way that I've always taken a look at this: is it's most likely going to follow the exact same way 5th edition does temp HP, which is temporary hit points.
Yeah.
And the way it works is, if I say, for instance, gain 5 temporary hit points, which is just like a pure HP barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I receive 6, right? I don't have 11. The 6 replaces the 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So instead I have a 6 HP barrier now.
Gotcha.
So if I've had damage dealt to my barrier, right? Say I've got that 5 temp HP and they've dealt 3 damage to it, and I gain that 5 temp HP back, I'm set at a 5 HP barrier.
No, I gotcha. I agree with that's probably how it works.
Yeah.
I doubt you'd be able to build on it. It would get insane at that point. It would be broken. Yeah,
this is going to be insanely good. Like, I'm not moving this. This is probably my favorite ability for the Artificer from last time. Triple S is incredible. Let's see, what did I say last time? This ability applies a shield buff from the start of battle, which is great all on its own. But wait, there's more. The shield reapplies every so often for continuous value over the battle. Incredible passive. I agree. I couldn't agree with me from a year ago more. This is by far the best passive you could possibly get if you're going to be any kind of defensive. This is the kind of stuff you're going to see, like, is going to be an auto pick for going into like PvP battles where you don't want to have, or PvE battles where you don't want to use your resources as often.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Right.
Where you need to, like, where you're thinking about when you're going to spend that mana. This is just I 100% agree, especially compared to the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oracle, the Oracle move is a unique build that could create some like really, really cool Seers. But of these 3, I'm almost always going to be picking this last one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just so good.
This is just the most immediate auto pick. Now, what Bolon brings up is what happens if 2 priests cast barrier on the same person. I believe we have already talked to Workhorse about this, and the bigger barrier replaces it. Whichever is the bigger barrier wins.
I thought the double bubble, they stack on each other.
Double bubble is only for different types of barriers. So you have your physical, your magical, and your pure barrier.
I don't know about that, Wowie.
What did Workhorse really say anything about the double bubble?
I'm pretty sure the double bubble, if it's 2 different priests, that they they build on each other.
I'm like almost, because you've sowed this doubt into me. I've come down a couple percentage points, but I'm like 97% sure
Right.
that it gets replaced with whichever one's bigger.
Whichever one's bigger. Okay.
Yeah, there's
All
no
right.
they very specifically did not want to go into barrier stacking.
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh my god. You ever get an itch on the back of your neck and you're just like, where did you come from?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Okay, yeah, so I'm leaving this at Triple S. This is great.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
totally.
This is usable by anyone that, like, if you've got knights with a Seer subclass and you're like, ah, oh, man, that stinks. Welcome to having a pseudo paladin. Like, this
Definitely
is incredible.
Yeah.
This is incredibly good.
It's also interesting with a different. By the way, chat is saying that it does stack.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Guy Kid, I remember Guy Kid playing this on Bogside.
That's why Workhorse is running 2 priests.
Yeah. But what was I about to say? Oh, also an interesting build is the Wizard Seer. While they're going to have a lot of different magic stuff like that, there's a wizard track that is all barriers. And I think this would be an interesting add to that, especially if they do, in fact, stack like we're talking about.
That is true. I mean, what I think is the coolest part about this is the Seer, I think, has the worst HP growth.
Right. That makes sense.
And then to have an ability that's based off of its HP is really funny. But I think this is an incredibly powerful pick for almost every other class.
I agree. Yeah, no, totally.
Like, it's more powerful in the hands of anything else than it is in the Seer's hands.
I don't think a Seer tank is ever absolutely going to be possible, but I think a Seer utility that's trying to do some different things, this is like a great pick for that, you know?
Yeah, no, this is great. And now that we've got confirmation from the entire community saying that double bubble is a thing, well, welcome to triple bubble, baby. TP, the new strategy. You know what? Quad bubble. Both my priest seers are now going to cast double bubble, and they're going to get double bubbled in the first turn before double bubble goes up. So it's double bubble.
If you had this ability on multiple heroes,
hubba bubba double bubble,
and they stacked immediately. Wow, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
and it's the heroes max HP, right?
It's the casters.
It's the casters, yeah, the casters max HP. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
on a paladin, holy shit.
Yeah, this is nuts.
I would maybe even consider it a wowie.
I would.
Well, the only thing holding me back is let's see how it interacts with other
heroes. Right.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So the way it gets to a wowie is it just does way more than it should. That's truly it. Like just getting an insane amount of value. I think this is like, if we look at the archers, like it crit chance, 20% evasion while channeling, and all attacks gain pierce. I think this has similar, if not more, value, but it's not so astronomically different from what you would expect as a tier 2 passive that it's an absolute auto must pick. This is incredibly good in the right circumstances, and I don't think it's bad in any circumstance, but it's not like I must have this. I need to build an entire hero based off of getting this ability. Unlike
I would say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
You're good.
I would say though, in terms of how, what gets a wowie, I bet this move is going to be under a microscope in terms of nerfs. I mean,
oh, definitely. This is probably going to be one of the more balanced levered abilities.
Yeah, that 7 turns, if your Seer's going fast, or based on the hero's max HP, if it's on a paladin, something like that. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be a magnifying glass. That's not the right word. Is it the right word?
The looking glass. Like that song.
Yeah, there's going to be eyes on this move, and that's why I consider it maybe a wowie, because I think that's something we've talked about in the past, is when it gets the wowie rating, be on the lookout for a nerf,
Yeah, no, that's what we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about like future proofing. Like some things they're just not going to work that way. Yeah. And the things with the highest chances of being changed are things that are rated like A and below, and like wowie, triple S and wowies. expect them to get reined in.
I mean, because I could see
Spotlight's
them
a good one.
tweaking.
Sticks in turn.
They could tweak that. Every 7 turns they could tweak that, or they could tweak the what is the actual shield percentage? Stuff like
is it
that.
their current HP or their max HP? Max HP. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like,
that's important. That's important.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
I would say
it's a great move.
Yeah, no, this is just fantastic. It's incredible. I love it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Expect it to be revised. That song. What is that song called? Standing at the looking glass. Don't know how much time has passed. What's that song?
I don't know. You're talking about like. No, I'm thinking of something else.
It came out forever ago.
I'll look it up. Go to the next one.
I just wanted to say, like, that song came out. I was born in the '90s, so that song came out. Like, they still had the lobster tanks at like the Walmart, right? And like that's all I could imagine. Like that song would play at Walmart, and I would just be like looking at the lobsters. I'm like, oh my god, this is surreal.
I don't know what song you're referring to.
Stone Sour, looking through the glass. Thank you, Bolon.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I don't know what that one is.
All right, yeah, put it on and give yourself a listen there. And just imagine you're an 8-year-old and you're just like checking out the poor rubber banded lobsters. Oh, sorry, through glass by Stone Sour. All right, sweet. Tier 3s. Here we go. Sanctuary, our first Oracle Tier 3. I gave this one a double S before. Each party member gains a barrier with 0.4 spell and 1.0 whiz HP. Delay 10, heal each party member for 0.8 spell and 1 times whiz HP. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Like, how powerful is that heal? The other tier 3 heals we get are heal each party member. So Holy Circle is heal each party member for 0.8 spell and times 3 whiz. This one gives a barrier, which in most cases is better than a heal because you can effectively over heal, right? I'm using air quotes. You can't see. I'm sorry. And it looks like the total value you're getting is just a little bit less, but having that like ability to overheal, and probably not get one hit by a rampage and then get a heal right afterwards, or not, maybe not right afterwards, but a little bit afterwards.
You have that ability to time it,
right?
Yeah.
Like this is pretty cool. I really like this ability.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Delay 10. We're assuming that's ticks.
Yeah, 10 ticks, which I believe. How many ticks in a turn? How many turn ticks does it take to get to the
whole
center of my turn?
The whole time bar is like 25 notches.
Okay, so like a little under half a turn.
Yeah, so it's like
That's kind of cool. I like that.
No, I think it's pretty quick, but it's obviously
this is for bosses. This is the thing you're using for bosses. I like this a lot. I think double S is fair. Yeah. Let's see. What did I say before? A block buff that is perfect for helping sustain targets for the duration with a heal on the back end. Crazy good option for any team, as a block potentially reduces damage taken to 0. This is before I knew what blocks did. So it's no longer a block buff. It is a barrier.
And also, I'm assuming
it's not a pure barrier.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it was.
No, because it was all allies gain percentage block and then a heal after.
No. I'm saying, what barrier is this now? Then, if it's not a pure barrier,
it's a regular barrier.
No, I think pure barrier is regular barrier.
Yeah, no, so pure barrier is both magical and physical, and
they say pure or magical or physical.
Yeah, they usually denominate which one it is. So.
Hold on. Was that a Bolon typo?
Bolon, I'm going to need you to send the team a Slack message real quick at 11:30 p.m.
You know they're up.
Yeah,
I bet Hubert's up right now.
Bolon probably woke everybody up. I was like, "Hey, get on."
What tier is this? This is tier 3?
This is tier 3. We're about halfway done.
Each party member all right, so also too, this is the distinction of each party member, so the caster is included.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
And then heal each, so it's a group heal. The heal isn't too impressive for a level 3, but that's not really the point of this move.
True. It does have a pretty steep. It does have a fairly steep MP growth at 2 per level. No, I think this is fine. I think a double S is really good for this. There's a lot of like strategy that can go into this. I don't see it getting. I don't see this getting nerfed by any means.
No way. Yeah. Like you said, I think in a PvE situations, this is going to be a really good move and very versatile for Seers. So yeah, we'll see when PvP comes out, you know, if this is used, because I feel like it might be too underpowered for what it does. I don't know if the barriers are going to be strong enough. I'll say this: if the barrier can be added to the barrier that the Artificer does in the move above it, then maybe I'll change my tune a little bit. You know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
But right now, I need to see it in action before I can, say it's, because I think it's a little weak. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it might be. I think it's. Yeah. I think it's a little bit less of like a pure like value standpoint. It's a little bit less than what Holy Circle is going to give you from the Priest tier 3, but at the same time, you have that benefit of reducing the future damage you're going to take, right? Because again, with a barrier, you're allowed to effectively overheal yourself. So I think this has got more play with it.
Especially if your Seer is going first, it'd be a cool first move to put the barrier up. They hit the barrier and then do a little bit of damage, and then this comes in and heals it right afterwards. So you can have your guys back at level, or back at like turn 1 full health, for free basically. I shouldn't say for free. It costs a move, and you were talking about the cost, but like, you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly what you mean, and like I said, I don't think this is like. I don't think this is worse than Circle of Healing, and I think Circle of Healing is really good.
Yeah.
So I think double S is perfectly fine for that one.
Yeah.
Then we got the Astrologer. We got Time Sync. Okay, we got flat numbers here. 60 plus 2 times standardized int % chance. Okay, yeah. All right, good. Flat. Good flat percentage. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Chance to slow target enemy by 20% for 25 ticks. Awesome. Love that. Delay 30. Deal 1 time spell plus 2 times target's agility raw damage. So I really like this. And this is
fun.
Yeah. This is just anti this is anti ninjas.
Yeah, exactly.
or right. So it's target's agi. I don't know if that takes into geez, I don't know why my brain just farted like that. I don't think this takes into I don't know if it takes it into consideration, because if I increase the agility of my target party member and then get hit by this, is that buffed agility going to be taken into consideration for target agility? Because if so, this is Seer counterplay.
Yeah. Well, this is good. Maybe this is an AMA question of, they've used this term a couple times in the codexes of effective agility. And so when
we're not using that anymore.
Right. But like when we say this equation says target's agility, are they talking about kind of like the core, what the agility score is on the card, or is it like live in battle what their agility is?
It's a great AMA question. And
I think that's
I want and hope
distinction
that it's the effective agility, because if they've got buffed and they're turn cycling like crazy, I want them to get punished for that.
Wild. Seer can like counter.
I like this.
It's its own creation. It can counter it. And
a 20% slow is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see, what did they say before? A slow debuff with a spell damage attached to it's based on target's agility. Very interesting. Disruptor and Speedster Punisher. Watch out, ninjas. DoD keeps us from being rated higher. DoD is only 5.
Yeah.
And I think I was scared that this was going to be like a 20 to 30
Right. Yeah.
accuracy fall off. And because it's not, I like this a lot. I think it's a double S. I think
Yep. I agree with that.
this still kept with the old version, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's not
I
going to
think
do much to your slow people, like they're slow people, but at the same time, a 20% slow on a slow person
Yeah.
is huge still.
No, it's huge. It could save you, especially if they're building up some like ninja that like attack 3 times in a row thing. Like you could interrupt that. It could be the key, especially because it's most likely if they're doing a speed build, that's kind of probably what the only thing they're doing. You know what I mean? So like a speed, if you can counter a speed team, you probably are going to beat them. You know what I mean? Like they don't have backup plans for their speed team.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is a great move. Love this move.
And also I'll say the amnesia keeps it at a double S and not any higher, which makes sense. It's fine.
Okay, Bolon is coming in here with a clarification. Circling back to Artificer for a moment, I went and did a very, very rough check. It appears that it just stacks between Seers from the same Seer. Oh, between Seers and from the same Seer.
Oh,
so barrier
boy.
stacking is real. You heard it here first, folks. That is meta.
Yeah.
Increase your HP bars by an infinite amount as long as you have the MP to do so.
Well, no, not even. Go back to the Artificer. If what he's saying is true, and you're just standing there and you have this ability passive, not even using any mana, that every 7 turns it's just going to increase and increase.
Yeah. If it doesn't get taken off.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you just like are just standing there, and it's kind of that classic Pokemon, you know,
and if your tank's doing their job really well
versus Metapod, yeah, exactly. They're just standing there gaining their shields over and over and over.
There's going to be no end in sight. Okay,
Yeah.
so
hold on, you know what I'm talking about? Did you remember that episode of Pokemon?
Oh yeah, where they just stood across from each other, just kept screaming "Harden!"
yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those really, really, really weird scenarios that the team's going to have to work around because you usually see people that have such an insane stall comp that the battle lasts literally forever if they're up against another stall comp, and there's just no way they're ever going to die, period.
Yeah.
And the only way I've seen games with a competitive ladder deal with that is by implementing a turn-by-turn damage that happens like every round that gets more and more powerful every single time someone takes a turn.
Yeah. I also think
or every time they take a turn, it's like a debuff that deals damage to them percentage, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger as the debuff applies when they like the more times they take a turn, and it's the only way to get through it. So be on the lookout for something like that if you're going for a stall comp that's doing this, because I mean the team's most likely not going to allow you to have games that go to like round 4,000.
I think that'd be super fun if they let us test it out and the two of us just did stall versus stall.
and we have a literal year-long battle.
Yeah. That'd be a fun to cast.
They're still going to this day.
No, totally. I think that's a pretty common thing in like competitive play where there has to be a cap to it. Otherwise, it gets insane.
Yeah, there has to be. And Bolon says 7 turns is a long time in combat, though.
I agree.
However, if my guy's got 50 extra agility and he's also got the haste buff, right, from another Seer passive.
And if I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side.
Right, so if I've got 2 Seers, that means I'm getting 100 additional agility.
And again,
or if I'm spamming Warstone and I'm getting 20% of my turn taken off every other turn. Like, this is nuts. Like, just those 2 abilities, say like, okay, I'm level 3 and I just use Warstone and the Artificer. I win.
Yeah. And not counting even the potion. What's the potion that makes you go faster?
Swiftness potion.
Or any other, like you could get to those 7 fast. Now granted, who knows how successful that will be, but yeah. It's possible.
Nobody knows. But let's see, where were we? We're on time sync. I think double S is really good for this one. I love this.
Sense.
Artificer, because we're talking about it. It's a great time. It's a great time to do this right now. Channel 800 initiative. Hell yeah, I'm already liking this. This is already better than B rank.
Sure.
Purified target party member. Yay, it's better than cleanse. Target is healed for 1.5 spell plus 2 times whiz plus 1 times int HP. Big heal. It's a big heal that comes up faster, not immediate.
Yeah, no delay though, right? Or no, it's a channel. It's a channel.
It's a channel.
Okay.
It's a channeled heal, but it's also a channeled purify. This is something that you queue up before you know you're about to take like a real big hit,
right?
As well as a lot of debuffs. So
I don't love that.
It's not my
channeled heal
favorite.
Is kind of annoying. Yeah. I still think to make up for it, that's why it's so beefy with the heal. It's gonna do a decent amount of healing.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: you open up turn 1, the boss does like a really big intro like ability. It does a lot of damage to your front line. It does a lot of different debuffs, right? And it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna use turn 1, even though I'm fast on a seer. I'm gonna use turn 1. My turn's gonna come up 20% sooner. Right, because I don't have 200 initiative that I need to get, and then not only are they going to get healed, hopefully for all of the damage they just took, but they're also going to get all those debuffs taken off of them.
Right,
and like, this is pretty good, and it's counterable.
It'll sneak in. It'll sneak in. Hopefully before that boss's next turn. That's the whole point. Yeah,
so I think I want to give this more than an S.
I can't give it higher than an S.
But like, yeah, I'm holding myself back. I like this. I like the play on it. I think it's a very. I like it. I think it's right where it needs to be.
I wouldn't be so shocked if you made it a double S, but I just personally I don't like it that much.
I'd give it an S.5, but that doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, I may make the rules, but I adhere to them.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. All right. So tier 4s. Here we go. Oracle.
All right.
Osmotic Ward. Osmotic?
Oh, first time we're seeing a ward here.
Osmotic Ward. Target party member gains a magical ward for 2 turns. And I like ward is capitalized, which means it's a keyword. If the ward is destroyed, target is healed for 1... Oh, damn, I really like this already. For 1 point spell mod, 4 times whiz, and 1 time luck.
First time I've seen luck, huh?
And
4 times whiz.
Yeah, 4 times whiz, 1 times luck, and is slowed by 20% amnesia 4. But this ward lasts forever.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Wait, what? Target party member is a ward for 2 turns. Never mind. I'm an idiot. First couple words. Within the first couple words. So, this is really interesting. I like that it's a very low mana growth as well. This was a WoW-y. Oh, this used to be Counterspell.
What?
Yeah, this used to be Counterspell, or it was Dispel target and do all kinds of stuff.
Oh. Right, we loved this one. I love this one too, I remember. Oh man, that's kind of disappointing. I loved Counterspell.
Yeah.
This is still fun. It's still a very interesting move.
I mean, they're probably going to put... I mean, so if anything in the tier 1 through 5s were a WoW-y, they're probably just going to move it to the tier 10s. If it gets removed and reworked completely, they're just moving it to a more powerful section. But I like this.
I like this, and going back to the other one too, as the Seer being a counter, because yes, there's a lot of the Seer moves that help with speed. However, there's a lot of counter abilities in general from the Seer, and I think this is one of them where if you know a big hit is coming, you can protect whoever you need to protect, and they're out of luck for those 2 turns. You know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because popping the ward is the worst case, is best case for you. That's what you want. You want the ward to be popped here.
Right. It's literally, I mean, they could have just renamed this to Mental Deterrent.
Yeah, no, totally. You give this to your archer who's in full crazy mode with all his buffs, like, and they can't touch him, and he's just gonna be blowing them up.
Yep. No, I really enjoy this a lot. It's so when the ward is destroyed, I want to know how much HP the ward has.
It's a bubble. We know what an award is. It's a bubble shield.
Right, it is, but for how much?
One hit point.
It's a one. Okay, yeah. So it's any amount of damage pops this. So it's like I wouldn't go for the kill here. I'm protecting this person from being killed.
Yeah.
This is effectively like a ripcord. This is like a pseudo resurrect before it needs to happen.
What do you mean?
What? Okay, so my party member's about to die. This is low cost too because it's 5 with a 1.5 scaling. My party member's about to die, and like, let's say it's weird, right? Because this, yeah, why not just heal it?
I think you do it too. You do mid game when you need somebody to survive for 2 more turns. Not necessarily. I don't think if the person is near death, I don't think this is the best move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is kind of an interesting one. It's definitely not a WoWie.
No, it's not getting the WoW yet. I don't think so.
This is not a WoWie.
I think double S, but also, man, Amnesia 4. I mean, not that you would spam it, but also the ward is only 2 turns. Like, I wish the ward was a few more turns, and unless they change how ward works, the way they explained it to us, it was literally just a bubble shield. It takes anywhere from 1 to infinite amount of damage it can block, which is cool, but it also is 1 damage pops it. So, and also this is magical ward. I would hate for physical to get by. I think that just means how they're describing the ward.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. I like this, and I'm trying to think about all the ways that this could be utilized. I think it's it's block damage once and then heal. And if it's that way, I really like that. Even with Amnesia 4, I really like that.
Also, I think your opponent, going back to mental deterrent, if your opponent has an AoE, that will pop this ward and let that huge heal happen. So they now have to think about if they're going to use that AoE, because ideally, I think the best counter to this is to let the ward expire and don't pop it.
Right. You know what this actually is a huge counter for, and that's is your opponent using AoE. They are mentally deterred from using AoEs.
Yeah. Because it will just cause this huge heal to be triggered.
Right.
But the Amnesia 4 sucks. The ward only being 2 turns. I wish it was a little bit more. And then
but
slow.
You definitely got to listen to my stream from yesterday, because I go into I had a hot take, and that hot take, I mean, it would have been worth at least 69 points on Sergeant Filthy McNasty's Candor Gander. Nice. My hot take was, I think every ability should have Amnesia.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single one of them should have a substantial Amnesia. I'm talking 2 to 4 on across the board.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think it should all happen.
Not for the tier 1s.
And what I would do is I would trade higher effectiveness of what the ability does for not being able to spam it.
That's my counter to that. Okay.
I know. Don't just trust me. Go listen to the stream from yesterday.
All right, I will.
Not the one where I'm playing the video game.
Although that game does sound cool.
It is a really cool game. I love that game. It's just so freaking sweet. But digressing, I like this. Yes. Double S. I think that's super fair. I love that. Moving on to the Astrologer with Chrono Purge. I like the name a lot.
Fun name.
Target enemy on hit 70 plus 2 times standardized intelligence % chance to dispel target enemy. Here we go. Did they just move it here? Calling Hubert right now. No change to the ability. Just add Amnesia.
So this is kind of counterspell, kind of.
No, this was I think Chrono Purge is the exact same, because in my remarks here I was like,
dispels
target buff. Yeah, I can't remember what counterspell did. I shouldn't have erased it.
I had it up. Hold on, let me see. This is counterspell. The next enemy magical damage ability to target this ally over a duration of X does not resolve. Once targeted, this ally is healed. Interesting.
Yeah. So dispel, already a 70% chance to dispel is pretty big. Yeah, negate a single random delayed action previously cast by the targeted enemy. Awesome. I
Wait,
love
what?
that. Yeah,
Hold
so it's
on.
a 40 plus 3 times standardized whiz function.
So it's a delay counter.
It's a dispel and a delay counter.
Whoa.
Yeah. Delay 30, deal 1.5 spell plus 2 times int raw
Oof.
damage to target, Amnesia 4.
Yeah.
This is badass. I like this a lot.
This is cool.
There's a lot of counterplay here. I want to bump it to triple S, but I actually think this is really well thought out.
Yeah.
And I think double S is exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I think this is very well thought out.
So 70, so good chance to dispel. Even if you're a bad intelligence.
Oh yeah. And in my opinion, it'd be interesting to see like something along the lines of like a percent chance to negate. Oh, it is. Oh, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, a single. Oh, wait.
Delayed action by targeted enemy. So obviously, like this is a Seer counter. That's what this is. Well, and also, Pirate has, like we talked about, Pirate has some delay. I think Scholar has some delay. There's other people that have delay, but
yeah. Oh, Bolon, can you get me the wording of old? Like you just like paste it in here of the old counterspell.
Yeah, no, it's not.
If it's essentially identical, I really want to see like.
No, I don't think it's identical.
Like my understanding of Ward must have been more on point back then. Because if it was like, okay, a ward blocks, is this the way it works? Like it blocks all of the damage for one hit.
Right, that's what I thought. It was just a bubble
okay, yeah.
shield.
If that's the way it is, it's like it's fantastic. I'll bump it up another.
Well, no, see,
I think Amnesia 4 is a really good call though.
The counter spell in the wording says the next magical move that they do does not resolve, which is different than just blocking the damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then the effects don't even go through.
Right. So we need to understand how Ward interacts with various debuffs or other moves.
Yeah, Bolon, write down our AMA questions here, so you can ask them. Just put Osmotic Ward question mark and just let them go at it.
Well, I guess it's just Ward. We need to get clarification on
how Ward can you further clarify Ward?
Yeah. And Workhorse wrote a blog about it. Which
true.
Also, Workhorse, we need more blogs. Let's just say that.
I mean, in our defense, it has been over a year since we've thought about these.
I know.
But, I mean...
Yeah.
We could change our opinion. And I think this is... Honestly, I think double S for this is really good for right now. Makes sense. Like, I think Amnesia 4 really rounds it out.
I will say, if delay does not become the meta, like if that's just how the flow of the game works, where no one really likes delay, this move kind of takes a hit, I think it's very dependent on what people are playing.
I would agree. I think Dispel is going to be good no matter what. Like, if you're going up against, a Holy Trinity, if you're going up against a debuff comp, if you're going up against a buff comp in any way, shape, or form, right? This just dispels. It just dispels all the positive off of you. It dispels really, really, really powerful. So I really like this. I think Double S is really fair with the Amnesia 4. This is something that you should be able to spam all the time. The fact that Shamans could in World of Warcraft was bullshit. Don't think I'm not mad about my world buffs getting purged. All you old Shaman players, you know who you are. You know what you did. Moving on to Rejuvenation Stone, another Artificer ability I just was not a fan of. Rejuvenation Stone, channel 800 initiative, already like it more. Heal target party member for 1.5 spell, 3 times wisdom, and 1 times int, which is, I believe, just a teeny tiny bit less, maybe even the same as the Osmotic Ward. For HP, delay 15, heal them again, and delay 30, heal them again. This is 3 turns. This is like 3 turns of healing.
Yeah.
For the cost of 1 turn. It's an Amnesia 1, and it's 800 initiative, so it's 20% of a turn you get back faster. What the
This is
hell?
great.
This is super cool.
Yeah, this is a great.
My
great
old
heal.
remarks. Heal will likely be very large. However, the
Well, this is the
channel opens
second.
up opportunities for being countered by interrupts, and because it was a channeled ability, I was like, meh. But I think that the 20% of a turn taken off automatically gives this an S. It's extremely low mana cost, which I'm a big fan of
Yeah, that is
as well.
interesting, especially because that initial heal is beefy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what? At
Well,
level
I still,
10, this heal costs like, what,
yeah,
15 mana? Is it 12?
yeah.
17 mana?
I do want to go back to your initial thoughts there because I do think there's some validity to that. I think channeled heals in general, I'm gonna be fading them versus the priest where I can just get that heal immediately.
And I think you're correct as a consistency king to feel that.
Yeah,
Because this does open you up to extreme counterplay. But at the same time, this is more than just a heal. This is 3 heals.
fair. Fair point. Yeah.
And if they counter this, they deserve to.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would definitely counter
I guess that the initial beefy heal happens, right? Or no, it still has to.
No, yeah,
After,
it happens after the channel. All of this happens after the delays are set
it's a
after
channel,
the channel.
channel and a delay. I know the delays are kind of just bonus. I'm not really as worried about those. I think they're just a nice little bonus. But the getting this channel interrupted.
This is another fantastic turn 1 option.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then your opponent would have to think about interrupting this. But if you don't do any damage, why interrupt this?
Right.
You know, if you did turn 1, just let them heal nothing.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Like a lot. This is so much better than what it used to be, which was just channel and you get a heal. Even if it was like delay and then delayed another heal.
I don't think you can go higher than S though at this point.
I could go to a double S, but I think S is very fair right now because there's counterplay involved. It went up. It got buffed. Bolan's in here thinking that I just don't like Seers. It couldn't be further from the truth, Bolan. I love Seers.
That's me.
I think they're incredible. I think they open up a lot of avenues for strategy.
I really am enjoying the and it's not just one track, but the counterplay. Like it's a couple different moves that have that I'm really interested in.
So he says Priest should be a better healer if you're purely looking at a straight up archetype healer.
I guess that's a fair point. Yeah,
makes complete sense because even though it does have healing, there's so much more support and damage. Like this is truly a all rounder magic class.
Yeah,
like it's a support, it's a healer, and it's a damage, and you could do all 3.
Can Seer use a wand?
Yes.
All right, so that's what the chicken one.
Yeah,
Seers,
use that one. I think Seers start with wands.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like if you look at a Seer right now, they're using the guild wand.
Right.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm I'm all right with that. Wait a minute.
What?
Oh my God. Oh my dear God. You know what I have not been taking into consideration?
What?
Range of 1.
Oh man. That's a huge bummer.
And range of 1 on the Osmotic Ward. And a range of 1 on Purification Stone.
Oh man. Hold on, and there are other heals that say range of 3, right?
Yep.
Oh. That's a gut punch.
That's a little nuts.
I don't like that at all.
Maybe Seers were just like mega overtuned in testing, and they're like, "Well, we gotta, we can't just let them do this for everybody."
Well, and what's the idea? Like they're blind, so they have to be like touching their target or something like that.
You know what? I really like that lore explanation right there.
yeah. Like they can't see the front row.
Yeah, that's kind of great.
They can only feel the guy in front of them and feel him.
they got the hand on the shoulder, like, "Oh, please, don't get away with it." Yeah, you have to. Yeah, so the way that they're doing this is you have to put him in the middle of your team, which opens you up to range 2 abilities on your extremely squishy Seer.
Yeah. Oof, that hurts a lot.
It does, but I think that's a good counter. I think that's a good Seer does a lot.
It
so
must
far.
have been very broken if it was doing it to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll see in testing. Like as soon as everything comes out and we're playing against each other, Seer's just like, Seer's just get clapped in 2 turns and they just don't do anything else afterwards. It's like, all right, cool. Well, let's get ready for buffs.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So tier 5s. We got we're in our home stretch here. Tier 5 or tier 5. Divination. The next skill target ally cast costs 80% less MP. Oh, yeah, baby. Target gains plus accuracy? 1 time standardized wisdom function percent, physical accuracy and magical accuracy for 2 turns. This is
a wowie.
100% a wowie.
For sure.
I love... Why didn't that turn pink?
Why didn't it go yellow or whatever? Yeah.
I love this ability. This ability so much. This is incredible. I couldn't imagine myself... I could see getting used to having a Seer on my team just for this.
Right.
And then for some reason Seers are banned in one season of play or whatever. And I've become so accustomed to Seers that I literally cannot play without this ability. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And I believe, if I'm remembering back a year and 3-ish months from when we did our show on the Seer review, that I was talking like, well, what if this is a 50%? And Maddie, you were like, there's no way it's going to be that much.
Makes sense.
It's like, there's no way they're going to make it be that much. Like, yeah, it's got Amnesia 4, but who cares? If you are in the final stretch of, let's say, your Mama Boar fight, and everybody's out of MP except for your oracled Seer, who's not going to be doing damage anyway.
Yeah.
And you've got a spell that you could use if only it cost 80% less.
Yeah.
This is your guy right here. This opens up, let's see, what did I say before? A fantastic tempo ability with a heal. No longer has a heal. This helps you in a long, drawn-out fights and may stack with efficient trait. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Because this only affects the next ability cast, the mana reduction will most likely be large. I could not have been more on the money. However, Amnesia 4, Amnesia 4 hurts, but I like it. I like it.
It has to be. It has to be. Otherwise, it has to be.
I mean, come on, the accuracy. The accuracy buff. Oh my god.
Target gains, that's not like percentage. It's not like a chance to gain that. They just gain that.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, this is insane.
This is literally like answering exactly what I was talking about in yesterday's stream.
This is what you give. Yeah, give this to your DPS to do that one big blast, that one nuke, and like you're golden.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick hint. Anything that has an Amnesia 4 on somebody else, if it's that good to use and it has an Amnesia 4, this is what you use it on. Right. You cast this on the ally who's about to use an Amnesia 4 ability.
Exactly.
Like, it's that good. Like, I love this. I don't know if I could say more. This is just fantastic. Where my heal at? You know, I don't care. I got accuracy.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I you know what? I like this more.
Yeah. I also think very susceptible to being nerfed. That 80% could become 75, 70, maybe even 60.
It could, but I think it would lose all functionality.
Right. I mean, I think.
I think they initially started off with like 95.
You just said I'm going to play so much of this move that I'm not going to know how to play without it. Like, that's the definition of unbalanced.
True, but at the same time, I think the only way they're going to be able, like, the levers they can pull for this, which I don't think they want to, because if you've noticed, Amnesia 1 and Amnesia 4 is like kind of what they're going for right now. And I think if they were to balance this,
Amnesia higher than that, I don't think we ever have.
No, I think we saw an Amnesia 7 somewhere. I don't know. Don't quote me. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember where. But the only levers they would be able to pull on this is because the percentage physical accuracy, magical accuracy, like, that's just a bonus. That's not the point. The point is the cost reduction.
Right.
And if they lower the cost reduction to keep this in line with, like, what's, air quotes, more balanced, they have to lower the amnesia.
Yeah, sure.
They have to lower the amnesia because it's a tempo ability.
Yeah.
Right? This is supposed to be, all right, here comes the big boom, and I'm going to, like, make it less.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to lessen the amount of percentage, they're going to lessen the amount of amnesia.
Right.
And that's the only way to make this even remotely viable still.
Yeah.
If they choose to go down by, if they choose to go down to 40%, this should at least have an amnesia 3. If they choose to go down 20%, this should at least have an amnesia 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is great. I love this so much. And
it's still super cool.
I also kind of accidentally read the next line because it's very close to amnesia 4. And I'm even more excited now because the astrologer has clairvoyance, which is the next 2 skills target ally cast cost 40% less MP. Wow! Target gains 35 plus 3 times standardized intelligence % Pierce for 2 turns. Oh my god!
Yeah. It's a wowie. This is insane.
Tier 5 is friggin' bonkers, dude.
I mean, this makes your archer a god.
If you like this scales so hard into endgame.
Yeah.
This scales so hard into endgame, it's not even funny. This is what your turn 1 is used on. This is the whole point of picking Oracle, so you go first. This is the whole point of literally all of it right here is I am setting up for a turn 1 nuke, and not only am I going to make it cost less, but I am going to turn your next critical strike into the hardest hitting thing this side of the
35 plus
of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, and I'm only picking that one specifically because I live closest to it.
What are we looking at for what is intelligence.s?
So the way I've been saying it is it's standardized intelligence. So it's a formula that averages the amount of intelligence in the entirety, like across the board for everybody.
So a generic average guy is going to be at 60, right? Or 60%. How's that? Right?
I would say you're probably I would say at least 50% here.
So 5 times 3, 15 plus 35. I mean,
now you got to remember Pierce takes or ignores a percentage of physical defense. So we don't know the exact formula, but the closer you get to true damage, the more insane it gets.
The Pierce numbers that we've seen, especially specifically the archers, what we've seen, those Pierce numbers are
like 5, 10,
25% at absolute max when it's like super stacked out, right? Yeah. We've never seen one. This one's going to be 50%, possibly 50% plus. We haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, congratulations to making your archers more meta. Like, this is fantastic.
The Seer Archer build this is going to be insane, especially for 2 turns. You could hypothetically do the 2-turn move with this build.
I love this,
and it'll be super cheap, and then you'll be able to even afford further moves after that.
It's like Seer comes into its whole idea as soon as they hit 15. Like, this is the kit right here. This is why you pick your Seer. Like, this is the identity right here. Is I am going to enable the rest of my team to just be better. Again, range 1, ew, boo, I hate that. But still, I didn't see that. You know what? I'm not even that upset about it.
With this one though, I don't care as much. This one you're buffing someone to attack. So I highly doubt you'd be using your front line to be that person. You know what I mean?
It's got PvP usages, and it's got even more incredible PvE usages.
Oh, yeah.
I love this. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bolon, you're going to need to get the Nerf bat for tier 5s. These are too good.
I mean, this one's going to be at a minimum triple S, but why don't you go to the next one?
All right, cool. So our last one, our capstone within the playable... within the playable codicy that is the Seer. We have Barrier Stone, channel 1000 initiative. Boo.
Regular channel.
Target party member gains barrier equal to X, not pure barrier, equal to X% of target's max HP, which X% is 3 times standardized wisdom, Delay 20, all barriers currently applied to the target double in value. Oh my god.
So hypothetically, we just talked about this. We've been talking about this the whole time. That one that gets refreshed every 7 stacks, this would stack, and this would double that stack.
Holy crap, dude.
Well, after the delay. So here's the thing. It's another thing. This is a negative on this one. This is why I don't think this one's a wowie. It's a channel with a delay. So there's like a lot of things that could happen in between there. It's not like an instant, obviously. But
it would be too broken. Number one, if there was no delay, and number two, if it didn't have the channel, it'd be broken.
Right. I think I agree with that.
Like there needs to be an opportunity to counter this.
I have to assume it's a pure barrier. They would say magical or physical if it wasn't. And it's the target, so you can hit it. Oh, but it only has a range of 1.
Range of 1. That's the caveat.
That's super upsetting.
This is really good though. This is cheeseworthy right here, because whenever you have a hard, like, barriers currently applied to the target double in HP value, like, that's cheesable. And not to say like, okay, let's go break it. Let's go break the game.
Oh, but
let's go stack barriers up on, a level 1 and then just double it, and now this level 1's got effectively 15,000 HP.
It uses the target's max hit points. So level 1 guy, this wouldn't be as effective.
Yeah, but at that point, you're not using it for the gaining a barrier. You're using it for the double the barrier. Right. You're looking at what is it? You're looking at the Artificer, right, on my Paladin in the front row to give him a gigantic barrier to begin with. You're looking at the Priest to give him another barrier. You're looking at the Scholar to give him another barrier that's been enhanced by arcane power, and then you're going to use a Seer to double it.
Yeah.
Like, this is just cool.
It's very cool.
It's super cool. I'm going to give this a triple S.
I was going to say triple S, yeah.
Triple S makes this awesome. Let's see, what was my old remarks? A channeled shield skill that gives you a heal at the end of the shield's duration. Crazy good sustainability skill. That's not what this does anymore. This is even more interesting. This has a lot of play, and I would say this is rather than a mental deterrent, which Rubetto is accurately pointing out that I should have said by now, this is what is called a mental taunt. This is what drives your opponent into reacting to what you've done, right? Yeah. So you cast this, and the clock is ticking for them to do something about it, so you don't get insane value from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just good.
It's very interesting because I think, exactly like you were saying, let's say that your tank has this with the hit points. You want to go kill the DPS or the healer before you do that, but like, you look at this tank with this massive shield, you're like, I cannot not address it.
Right.
Like, you have to address it, or else that tank is going to become a problem.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I will say, before Bolon gets the nerf hammer out too seriously, this move very specifically is completely and utterly countered by an advanced trait.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Interrupt.
Yeah. No, sure.
Like, anything that interrupts, and I'm sure there's plenty of abilities that have a form of interrupt right now. I asked that AMA question a while ago. The list is getting insane.
Yeah,
I think I looked at the debuffs, and I was like, 11 of the debuffs.
Yes.
Interrupt.
Yeah.
So
everything interrupts.
Like, good luck, because if you get this to actually work, incredible.
Yeah. But
good luck not having people specifically hold back their interrupts for this.
Yeah. Pirate, I think, is the only class so far that has specifically anti-barrier moves.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Where he can just pop a barrier. It doesn't do any damage, but he can pop them. So
with the cannon.
Be on the lookout for that if Pirate is coming out soon, which
so we got the barrier mage, and then we've got the barrier breaker.
Exactly.
The barrier reef.
That's dumb.
The barrier reap. Yeah, I think Pirate's out next for sure because it just makes sense.
I think it's Berserker.
I mean, I could see all of the cases for Berserker. I think it's Pirate.
Yeah. All right. Well, because going back to what
Maddie,
we
you
said,
can't lose faith now.
I know. I have. I'm going to be apologizing to the community tomorrow on Blogside Chat.
The State of the Union.
Yeah. Shit, I was going to say something and I forgot. I don't know. This was supposed to be a quiet, calm stream, and now it's 12.
It was. Like, very was. And to think you guys could have got 2 streams out of me this week.
What do you mean?
I thought they were going to release this on like Wednesday.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm curious to see when Seer actually goes live. I'm sure it's pretty soon too.
That's right. Paul, when's Seer going live? You guys usually do these, and then they're live like the week of. I'm expecting to play with Seer in 2 days.
Yeah, but I very curious on Seer. Seer barrier build seems like it's going to be wild.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great.
I don't even know because Seer, there's like several now that I'm seeing. Seer healer is one, obviously, which I think there's a lot of really cool heals.
Oracle healer.
Seer speed, demon speed, master of speed, and/or making his friend speedy. Then there's Seer counter, who just counters a lot of other Seer abilities. And finally, I think there's this Seer barrier buff guy, maybe some other utility too. But like, there's so many different archetypes of Seer. I think just based on these moves we've seen. My
favorite Seer thief, like by far.
Yeah, which wasn't even one of the ones I said, really.
That's what I'm just like super hyped for, because like thieves are already fairly fast. Then they're going to have innate speed buffs, and they can just pick all of the deal 0 damage, but get all of these crazy effects that they want, and they can still do bleed damage.
Yeah. Oh man, thief is cool. Also with luck, I mean, you know, crit chance and stuff like that. Like, well, and landing. I think all of them have, you know, landing your effect has a little bit of luck in all the formula. So,
true. Oh, and just for funsies, I mean, we can look at the 10 pluses, right?
Yeah.
We get.
These are going to be all different though.
Yeah, they're all the old ones, but we could probably see like what they changed, right, in the old 10 pluses. So like similar to the non-plusers, but added int scaling, right?
Future sight, because haste, they changed the name of haste. That's not even a move anymore.
Yeah, what do they call it now?
Time.
The astrologer.
The astrologer.
Yeah, they gain 5% haste. This is probably going to be like gain 7% haste.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's how you make those abilities really good.
Right.
So like this, I know I rated this fairly low compared to like what it should be, but this is probably going to get haste plus, and then it's going to be really, really, really good, which is a common thing you see in a lot of games where when things first come out, they're not that great, but when they get their promotion, they're insanely good, insanely viable, and it's worth the wait.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this. My God. Guys, making me so bullish on a Monday. Oh.
You're mad that it's on a Monday. You like to get bullish on the weekends.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be like hyped all week, and I gotta like write emails. Like,
it's true.
Well, I think I'm good to go. And we could all thank Workhorse's memo from a year ago. The reason why this is still up there to this day is because I was talking to Workhorse about the Seer, and I was like, do you want to say anything in particular? And he was just like, tell everyone I said, and then just sent me this.
That checks out.
It makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Seer has some of the most ranged versatility. And I don't mean those words like in-game words. I just mean like you could do so many different things with a Seer. it's actually
your options are like, I mean, if you think about it, like Archer, your only choice is to deal damage. Knight, you can do, it's a defensive support, but you can also deal damage if you want to. Priest, it's mostly healing, and also there's some damage in there, right? With Seer, you've got support, you've got healing, you've got damage, you've got defensive support, you've got offensive support. Like, there's a lot going on here, and you can make so many different combinations.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, you could effectively do all of these.
No question. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to play with it.
I'm excited to seer it too.
Oh,
definitely not holding all of my puns in for 2 hours now. But yeah, hope everyone had a great night tonight. Maddie, are you pretty keen right now on a 2.5 hour stream? I think the shortest on record we've ever done.
Well, I will note a few things on that. Number one, they only gave us tiers 1 through 5,
and we still took 2.5 hours to go through.
I was gonna say, this is about 50% usually. So checks out. But yeah, I wasn't even ready for this kind of level of excitement. I'm fading because it's like almost 12:30.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Good time to call it then. Yeah. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this official re-ranking of the Seer class. I can't believe I'm going to have to upload this as an entire YouTube video tomorrow. This is going to be great. Yeah, I'm super bullish on this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. A lot of things across the board went up in terms of how much I like them and how much viability they have, even though the astrologer may have gone down a little bit. Everything across the board went up, and by quite a bit too. It's still a double S class, but that's mostly because, you know, all of these bad boys are still in here.
Didn't get touched. Yeah.
And I mean, just to say one last final thing, especially about the Seer's level tier 6 or 7 abilities, all the level 10s, expect a rework of a lot of these abilities, because the Seer late game is probably one of the scariest things we've seen in terms of like the potential of what it's going to do. Like, I would say everyone go ahead and give the old Seer a read through on their level 10s, and then see what it looks like in conjunction of their tier 1 through 5s now, and just imagine the possibilities. These WoWs, just based off of the buffs that some of these got, these are all rated higher now.
Yeah,
because of the functionality from before. But
yeah, I mean, and they did a lot of cool stuff with those 10, like not the 10 pluses, but what's the last tier called?
I think it's tier 7. Tier 7.
The tier 7.
Tier 7s.
I think they go back a turn or undo that last turn or reverse all the things that happened previously. Like, I hope they keep those because those are so much fun.
I think I remember them saying that they just renamed the tier 7s into the WoWy tiers because that's what they were all getting.
Yeah. I mean, they might mix those up a little bit, but I hope they keep that same kind of, at least that like that theme of the Seer messing with the game from a meta level, you know? Like,
yeah, same. I enjoy that. Like, break every fourth wall you possibly can.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's fun.
But with that, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're good to go. I can't believe it. It feels weird to stop this early, but congratulations, we made it through. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Go ahead and send it around. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Seer. I can't wait to see it implemented in PvP soon. TM. But with that, have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one. We're going to be doing more of these re-rankings here soon.
We're supposed to be doing Archer Warrior tonight.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that.
So yeah, we'll be doing that soon.
Sorry, Bola. We gotta cut it.
Yeah.
We would keep going if
you drop the rest of the Codex.
If it was like 9 p.m. right now, I'd keep going. But also,
Yeah,
yes,
no.
if you drop the pirate codex right now, I'll keep going. I'll call that bluff all day long.
No, drop Dread Knight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Drop me another codex, and I will keep going. I don't care which one it is.
I'd probably get excited at that.
Drop me a codex that hasn't come out yet. I'll do it. I'll wait.
Okay. I was gonna say, how long are we waiting live?
I'll give him until 12:25.
Okay, 2 minutes.
He's the gatekeeper, so I'm gonna give him the choice. Does he want another 2.5 hour longer stream, or does he want to keep his secrets?
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Have a good night. All right, everybody. You heard Bolon. Hope you have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Okay, hold on. We're back. I just read chat from Bolon, who said, just give me 2 more hours.
Wait, you just went back live?
Yeah, I just went back live. He says, give me 2 more hours live waiting, and I'll totally get you another.
I'm not doing that.
I'll call.
Just 2 hours of silence. Is that what he wants?
Maybe he does want 2 hours. I mean, I got video games I could just play for another 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, I'm kidding. Good night, everybody. Love you.